Hey teachers and parents, and welcome to Math Unlocked, where I get to offer you strategies for teaching math when it comes to grades 3, 4, and 5. My name is Miss McCarthy, the creator of McCarthy Math Academy, and I'm on a mission to make math fun, make it click, and make it stick for you and the students that you support. In today's episode, I'm going to break down a 5th grade skill on how to read numbers with decimals. And after we go through that, if you're looking for some more support with this skill and all the other skills in 5th grade, I'll point you in the right direction for even more support. All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get to it, and let me teach you. Standard form, word form, and expanded form. You'll see expanded form A, and this should say expanded form B. Whoops. We're going to break down all of these different forms and ways to read and write numbers with decimals. So let's start with standard form. Standard form is the standard way that you often see a number. It's just the regular, old way, fashioned way to read and write numbers. So for instance, this number right here, this is a number. It has 6 digits. This number is written in standard form. And what we're going to do now is take this number and write it into word form. And what I tell students is, if you can read it correctly, then you can write it correctly. If you can read it, you can write it. So let's practice reading it. The first thing I always do is identify my place values. So starting right here on the decimal, we've got the ones, tens, hundreds place. And I know when I have a hundred or 100,000 or 100 million, I put a star right there because I have to say the name 100 when I read that digit. We need to know that right here, this says and. Okay, the decimal says and when we get there. And then to the right of the decimal, we have the 4 is in the tenths place. The 0 is in the hundredths place. Make sure we get that at the end. And the 6 is in the thousandths place. Groovy. Now that we know our place values, let's go ahead and read this number. So we would say 123 and 406 thousandths. 123 and 406 thousandths. That 6 lands in the thousandths place, so we say thousandths at the end. And now, like I said, if we can read it, we can write it in word form. So we'll write it. 123 and 4, spelling 4 wrong. 406 thousandths. THS. And I usually just underline it right there for students so they can make sure that they're including that at the end. So 123 and 406 thousandths. That's how you write it into word form. Now let's move on to expanded form. Expanded form is when we take each digit and we expand the values. Okay, so first we're going to start with the digit 1 that's in the hundreds place, reading it from left to right. So we have the digit 1 that's in the hundreds place, and it has a value of 100. Plus, the next digit is 2, which has a value of 20. Plus, our next digit is 3, and that has a value of 3. Plus, the next digit is 4, and it has a value of 4/10. The way to write that would be just like this. Plus, now we have a 0 in the hundredths place. Because it has no value, we don't even need to record it there. So we'll move on to the 6. The digit 6 is in the thousandths place. And be careful when you're writing it because we need the tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 6 thousandths. So this would be one way, expanded form A I like to call it, one way to write this number in expanded form, where you take the values and you expand them or stretch them out. Now my primary audience is Florida teachers, Florida students, especially in grades 3, 4, and 5. And there's another way that we are required to make sure that our students know how to write in expanded form. So this is the alternate way to do that. So make sure you're paying attention to what your students specifically need to know. See if this next way, expanded form B, as I call it, is a way that you also need to make sure that you know and that your students know. So again, we're taking the values and we're expanding them out. It's just a little bit different. Okay, so we've got our first digit that I like to say we're going to wrap in a hug with parentheses. Our first digit is 1, and that 1 is in the hundreds place. 1 times 100 is 100, so that makes sense. Plus, our next digit is 2, and that is in the tens place. Plus, our next digit is 3, that's in the ones place. Plus, our next digit is 4, and 4 is in the tenths place. So we could write it like this, or it could be like this as a fraction. Okay, plus, we can still skip that 0 because it does not even have a value. Moving on to the digit 6, that is in the thousandths place, careful. And then same thing, we can write it as a fraction, 1 over 1,000, 1,000ths. So those are the various ways to go ahead and read and write numbers in standard form, word form, and 2 ways to write in expanded form. All right, if you're thinking, whoa, okay, that makes sense, but I need some more practice, or I need to make sure my students have more practice, let me go ahead and take you over to the website, mccarthymathacademy.com, to show you what you would have available to you with a membership. So here we are at the home page right here, mccarthymathacademy.com. And the very first thing that I want to show you is right here under freebies and math songs. As of right now, the second song down right there is the place value song. It's only 2 minutes and 27 seconds, and it's great for taking 3rd graders, 4th graders, and 5th graders through a big chunk of place value to help them remember the places and the values. So check that out. Also below, I will point you in the direction for how to access your free trial. But once you have accessed it, once you've signed up, you're going to click right here, members enter here, taking on the best. That'll bring you to this page. Click on 5th grade. And we want to explore this free trial this way for this particular one. Right in here, because this very first video is a foundational skills video with place value, and you can see it includes decimal right there. So if I just kind of pop into this lesson, because we can. The way we would read this number would be 219 and 308 thousandths. So just like we did earlier. Let's try that again. 219. Stop right there. There's a printable right next door. You just click that and you can print out the page there. So definitely check that out. It's a free video. Gets into more stuff like 10 times greater, 10 times less. And yeah, if you're a teacher or a parent in Florida, you'll notice these. These are part of the benchmark codes, and everything that students cover in 5th grade, there's a video lesson for it. So definitely check that out. You can take a look at everything that's here, but what I want to focus on is this right here, McCarthy Math 155. Click on 5th grade, go to place value, which is unit 4, and days 34, 35, 36, and 37 all help with what we just talked about today, going from standard form into word form and all of that. So definitely check it out. And just so you know, the cost of taking on the best membership, the gold membership, and silver and bronze, those are all a fraction of the price that it would cost for tutoring. So that's something for you to keep in mind. And if you're thinking, no, I just want the free stuff on YouTube, that's totally fine too. And if you are finding value in these free episodes, if you could do me a favor and click that like button and subscribe. Subscribing actually helps you and it helps me. It allows you, it gives you free value. It allows you to know when I drop new videos. And for me, it allows me to continue to make this free content for you. So thank you so much for liking and subscribing, and I will see you in an episode real soon.